Welcome in, everybody. If you've missed the previous episodes, we hit again last week. That was the third one in the last 5 episodes. If you only include the ones with me and JJ, that's 3 of the last 4. And we're going to stay hot today. We got a great Thursday night game with the Eagles and the Commanders. We're going to break everything down and give you guys another parlay at the end, so make sure you watch all the way through. Welcome in, everybody. JJ, how are we doing, brother?
I'm ready to hit another parlay. That's all I'm doing.
It feels a lot better doing these when we're hitting it, doesn't it?
Yeah, not being one player off. Yeah.
Hey, we knew we were due, and it's fucking coming. So let's get into it, and we'll start off with Washington, where things feel like they're all over the place. Brian Robinson gets back this week. The Eagles' defense has been one of the best in the NFL, if not the best, the last few weeks. And Jaden Daniels has been nursing a rib injury the last few weeks. So, JJ, what are you kind of seeing on that side of the ball?
Yeah, with the Eagles defense, surprisingly, since the bye week, they've really stepped up in their run defense. They're top 10 in many metrics, whether it's like explosive rush, yards per carry, even against man gap and zone and all that. Like everything just looks good for them right now. And their secondary has been solid throughout the entire season. It's just they had some hiccups here and there, just giving up explosive plays, but seems like that has been subsided. But outside of that, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting what this Commanders offense could do because Jaden Daniels, we know his deep ball has been electric all season. He was one of the best deep ball passers coming into the league, and he looks like he is one of the best deep ball passers in the league right now. Just kind of crazy as a rookie. But the Eagles take that away. They're first in DVOA against the deep ball, and I think third in DVOA taking away the middle of the field. So that should be interesting. But his line is at 226.5. It is kind of low for him. So it's kind of hard to take the under. But if you're very confident in that Eagles defense and what they've been doing, you can go ahead and take the under. What else have you
Yeah,
seen?
I was just gonna say it feels like one of those things. Same thing I was saying with the Lions and the Sunday Night Football last week, where it's just, are we know they've been good? Are we waiting for the shoe to drop, or are they just that good from now on? So I
Exactly.
don't have the answer, but yeah, I feel like if any team is gonna break through, it's gonna be the Washington offense. I don't not necessarily predicting that they will, but they're one of the more unique offenses in the NFL with a game-breaking quarterback. And Philly hasn't faced that many rushing quarterbacks this season, so it could be something that they haven't seen all that much. And while they do practice against Jalen Hurts, I think it's safe to say Hurts and Daniels use their legs a little bit differently. So I think it's going to be interesting to see the chess match that goes on just in between each play, how each team is adjusting. And I don't have a great read on the Washington offense itself. You've kind of already broken down the strengths and weaknesses of the defense. Terry McLaurin and Jaden Daniels have been so good this season, but again, this isn't their matchup. Zach Ertz, he's been solid for 3, 4, 5 catches a game, but again, not a good matchup for him. The coverage from the Philly linebackers for the first time in what feels like 10 years has actually been really good lately. So then we go look at the running game, Brian Robinson and Austin Eckler, and Brian Robinson gets back, which should help them, but we don't know how healthy he is. We don't know what usage he's going to get. And again, the Eagles have been good in the run game as well. So I kind of just want to stay away from the Commanders' offense in terms of trying to pick which player is going to step up. But I do think the offense as a whole, I think they'll be able to pick and choose spots on the defense to exploit when the Eagles might not be able to figure them out as easily as they figured out some of the more normal offenses in the NFL. But outside of that, we can get to one prop I do have in the Washington side actually is their kicker over kicking points, and that's because Washington has the most scores per drive in the NFL, going against the Philly defense, who has the third best field goals per score, basically. So when they're giving up scores, it's field goals more often than not. And we never see the Washington offense where their kicker has a field goal line, or a kicking points line at 6.5. It's usually 7.5 juiced over, sometimes even 8.5. So to get 6.5, I know it's a good defense, but I'm gonna fight on that. Let's get into Philly now. We got Washington. They haven't been good against the run. They haven't been good against the deep ball. AJ Brown has him returning has turned this offense back into full form. Saquon has been Saquon. I mean, where are you picking your spots here, JJ?
There's only one spot to pick, and it's AJ Brown. It's just that simple.
He's been
The
crazy.
last couple weeks, Washington really hasn't faced a legit passing offense for a minute now. And I mean, when you got AJ Brown, you got the Commanders playing man coverage. They have the 8th highest rate, I believe, right now on the season. In the last like 5 or so weeks, that's gone up to like 4th highest. So anytime you see man coverage, AJ Brown is your man. I think on the season right now is what 35% targets per route run, 5 yards per route run, and that's with AJ Brown and Devontae Smith playing together. So
Yep.
that's week 1 and then week 6 through 10. So even if you just look at week 6 through 10, it's like 4.5 yards per route run and a 38% target share, target per route run. I mean, I'm pretty sure his first read share is somewhere in the 30s, but regardless, you got to target it. He's torched this team for the last couple of years. I mean, it's just going to continue to happen. I'm sorry.
I mean, dude, I can't imagine how much money somebody would have made if they just every week, whoever the wide receiver one is for the opposing offense, just bet their overs against the Commanders, because they really are. Like, it has been a very profitable system, and now we get AJ Brown, who's gone over this line in pretty much every non-injury game at 80.5 receiving yards, 100 plus in 3 of the 5 games. It's just it's one of those where you're going to feel like an idiot if you don't take it and then you see him get 80 yards in the first half. So kind of just have to. I've seen some people on Saquon because, again, the Washington run defense isn't great. The Eagles pass offense has been passing less, like in terms of just pass attempts per game. Saquon's rushing yard line is at 90 something, 95.5. He should, like, it's a good matchup. He's got good usage. He should hit it. I think we have to have a talk about how many yards that is. Like, how many running backs are out here getting 1,700 yards seasons only on the ground? And you're basically betting that on a game-to-game basis. You're playing with fire. So much could go wrong. Game script could go against you. An injury, even if they just go out for 4 snaps of a drive, that alone could kill you. So one rush attempt for -5 yards suddenly changes your whole pace. So I think you're playing with fire very heavily if you're taking a 95.5 rush yard prop, even if it isn't a great spot. But from a game perspective, yeah, Saquon should eat. AJ Brown should eat. Apparently, Devontae Smith is the most bet on over in this game. I mean, I'm still taking AJ Brown over him because, again, you want to take the alpha wide receiver against this team, but Devontae Smith can get his too. So the Philly offense should be able to pick and choose how it wants to play. And this whole season, the only times the Philly offense has really looked crippled has been due to their own demise. Like, it hasn't really been defenses killing them. It's just been their offense not performing. And I think it's just another spot like that today where it's just, hey, if you lose, it's going to be on your own fault.
Yep.
That's all I got, though. So let's get into the parlay. And the first leg, we are going with the Washington Commanders money line. There's so many systems that support this. There's the zigzag method. There's when teams force less than 7 points in the previous week and score less than 45 points, they don't do well in the next game, which favors the Commanders. And like I said, I think this Commanders offense is one that the Philly defense has not had the luxury of facing it. I think it's going to take them a second to adjust. And in a short week, we talk about Philly always being their own, like causing their own struggles. I feel like that's going to happen in a short week more often than not. So give us the Commanders money line, and then we're pairing that with AJ Brown. Like we said, whether it hits or misses, this is the most obvious read in the game. We're not going to try and get cute and stay away from it. We're going to take it. So both of those together is plus 383. You can go ahead and lock that in. Make sure you like and subscribe if you're tailing, and hopefully we can cash you guys out once again like we've been doing the last few weeks. So appreciate you guys as always. JJ, appreciate you for taking the time to jump on here, and we'll see you guys on the next show.